The Newton Group joins me as part of our Timeshare Suck theme hour. Gordon Newton, Michelle Cumberland, and we'll be answering your questions and taking your calls about timeshare. So go ahead and call in now, 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. When I started this radio show 30 years ago, we set out to do the same thing we do today, and that was help you. We want you to win. We want you to get out of debt, become prosperous, be unreasonably generous and outrageously generous. We don't want you to get ripped off. And so anything that is ripping you off has become my enemy over the years. And the more it rips you off, the more vocal I am about it, and the more that industry hates me. I mean, literally hates me. And so, for instance, when I go off on payday lenders, which I do frequently because they're absolute scum, they take advantage of and oppress the poor. 800% interest. If you're a payday lender, your grandmother should be ashamed of you. Your mother should be ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of you. You should stop it. You're ripping people off. If you're a whole life agent, you should stop it. If you lease cars, you should stop it. If you sell timeshares, for God's sakes, go get a good job. Leave. So joining me for this hour for a couple of segments are some folks from a company called the Newton Group. Gordon Newton is with us. He's the president and founder of the Newton Group. He has been helping people with timeshares get out of timeshares since 2003. So about the last 2 decades, he's watched this scummy industry evolve. And his head legal counsel with their private law firm, Michelle Cumberland, is with us as well to address this from a legal standpoint to make sure that Gordon and I stay in the road. Welcome, you two. Good to have you.
Thanks for having us, Dave. Appreciate it.
And thanks for fighting the fight on behalf of people who can't stand up to this billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
It's out of control.
Yeah, people need help. They don't have to go it alone. And I tell people they're not alone either. We just recently conducted a timeshare exit study of over 9,000 surveys, and the results are pretty shocking.
Yeah, I mean, we actually did some research with Ramsey research team here. It wasn't as large a sample size as you did, and we gathered up. Ours was more of a survey, and yours was more of a study. So yours has got better research technique to it and more in depth. But I mean, the thing that you find, 97% of timeshare owners surveyed said they experienced deceptive trade practices. What industry stays open when 97 out of 100 people say they tried to screw me? How does this work?
Well, I'll tell you, it's this isn't a group survey. These people take the questions at home individually, and it would have been shocking had 50% of it came back and said, you know what, we experienced lies and unfair sales practices. 50% would have been a lot. 97% is really shocking, and there is a problem there, and it stems from how these things are sold.
One of the attorneys that we talk to in the industry calls it legalized fraud.
Well,
and that's his words, and I kind of like them. And so, but as we, you go through the study and you understand how deceptive this is, and then how stuck people are. By the way, if you guys want to see a copy of the study, just go to timesharetruth.com, and you can see the study of 9,000 actual timeshare owner experiences in case you're having a weak moment. We're doing a Timeshares Suck theme hour. Just because I believe in clarity, so we want you to understand exactly what we're talking about here. Stay away from them, avoid them. If you haven't, then you need to try to exit, is what it's called in the timeshare world. Exiting a timeshare is very difficult. Many of the companies have been run out of business by the timeshare business, by the billion-dollar timeshare industry, suing and suing and suing and suing and suing, and the legal fees just run them out of business. Even if they're successful exiting people. A company that's been around since 2003 is the Newton Group, and their website, if you want to read the study results that they have of 9,000 people that they studied that are actual timeshare owners and their experiences, you can get it at timesharetruth.com, timesharetruth.com. If you're stuck in a timeshare and you want out, They may be able to help you. They may not be able to help you. Some of these situations are different than others. They're all different than each other. And some of them are easier to convince the timeshare company to let you go, let my people go, and some of them are dadgum near impossible. So no promises, but check out what they do, their business model, and how they work with the law firm, the partner law firm that's filed numerous lawsuits and arbitration demands on behalf of timeshare clients, also at timesharetruth.com. Now, so the industry, Gordon, has, in my mind, I've watched Hilton buy Diamond and run Mikey off. Mikey Flasky was the head timeshare salesman there. He and I got into it on Twitter several times.
Yeah,
guy's a scumburger, and I just don't want to be unclear today. But Hilton now is in the business big time. We were a little shocked they actually closed on that deal because they generally are a pretty good company, but they have really brought in a barrel of fish hooks there. Then, we've got the Queen of Versailles, David, was his last name David?
Siegel.
Siegel, yeah, yep. that mess. That whole, these guys, some of the things, the sophistication of it has evolved, and the way that they sell it, and even their legal documentation has evolved over the 20 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, just in the consumer's guide alone, and you can see this too. Michelle referenced it earlier. You're not just agreeing to the terms that might be in that 15-page contract. They often reference other agreements. Now this is just an example taken from one public offering statement. Again, this is in the consumer's guide. You can see it yourself, but it literally says that weeks are offered for sale for personal use and enjoyment only and should not be purchased by any prospective purchaser for resale or as an investment opportunity or with any expectation of achieving rental income, capital appreciation, or any financial return or valuable benefit.
So these things have no value, and we said it in the consumer guide.
Well, that would be nice to know, right, when you went in or even a part of that contract. But this is something this is language that's taken from a public offering statement that's 249 pages in length.
Yeah, and the consumer's not going to read that when he's in the tiger cage.
No,
he just signs it. Just anything, let me out of here.
Right.
So, Michelle, what is the times that you're able to be successful getting someone out, exiting them? What is the is it trade secret to tell how you do that, or what is involved, or who has a better chance of getting out, or who doesn't? What are the situations that you're the most that you have the highest probability of being able to exit them?
So from a legal perspective, it's always about that legal binding contract, right? What does that contract say? Does it have a default provision? Does it have a term? Once we identify what the rights and obligations are for the individual, then we may have some negotiating power with the resort. We may be able to say, or to the developer or the association, depending on. See, this is another thing people don't understand. You're not just dealing with just the timeshare entity. You're also dealing with an owner's association. You're dealing with the holder of whoever, of the note who financed the loan. You could potentially be dealing with a management company that's running the resort. It's really this one consumer against 5 different entities sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it also depends on who we're negotiating with. If we're just negotiating with the owners association and it's a paid in full, that probably will be a little bit easier for us than if we're also dealing with a holder of a note and a debt collector and a management company. And so each individual situation, it's based on their specific facts.
Yeah. And so if they have debt against it, it's harder because you got to get the debt forgiven.
Right.
So you really have to have them on fraud or the proposal that they have committed fraud in some way for them to release all of that.
Either we have some tool that we can use from a negotiating perspective, or sometimes these resorts will allow a voluntary surrender, but of course there's usually some payment involved in that. Mm-hmm. They want some kind of money to take these things back in their inventory. But even once we get the individual out of the timeshare, it doesn't really stop there. We really need to get their credit report looked at. A lot of these timeshare lenders are incorrectly reporting to the credit bureau. Sometimes they're issuing tax documents, 1099s, 1098s. We need to take a look at those and make sure that they're properly reporting any canceled debt to the IRS. Mm-hmm. There is a lot involved.
But if there's no canceled debt, if I paid $10,000 cash or $20,000 cash for a timeshare, and I want to get out of it just to get rid of the fees, you give up the money that you spent. That's just
absolutely.
gone. That's just gone.
Yeah, I never, typically am never able to get money back without some type of, like we were just successful in an arbitration and getting a full refund, but it was because I could actually prove fraud. We actually had the handwritten notes of the individual's sales agent. So I was actually able to prove fraud, but that's very unusual and very rare.
Yeah, that agent got fired.
I'm sure he did, sir.
Yeah.
So, it really depends on the individual situation, what evidence I have, and whether I have somebody on the other side of the table that's willing to negotiate with me.
Timeshare owners have to say in their own words, a large number of documents were placed in front of us. We were not allowed to take the paperwork back to our room to review it further about making a decision. Additionally, we were not allowed to consult anyone other than the resort representative at the sales meeting regarding the contents of the document. They're trapped in the tiger cage. That's a standard deal. Yeah. And in this world today, consumers are so aware. I am shocked that these kinds of practices are still effective, but they are very effective.
Well, they are, and again, because you will spend anywhere between 2 to 6 hours with that individual, right?
Because you can't get away from them.
Well, they're friendly folk too. I mean, you're there talking with them all day, and by the end of it, a lot of our consumers have told us that they were just worn down and they were willing to sign just to get out of there. These are that statement you just read. That's from a. That person is willing to testify under oath under penalty of perjury. That's from a declaration. We've got hundreds of declarations from these people as well, too, telling us their timeshare truth. This isn't me telling you this. This is the voice of the American timeshare owner. That's what you're hearing. That's what we're hearing through the study, and that's who we're here to help.
So the message that we want to get to you from the Newton Group and from the Ramsey organization before these two step off the set here is, A, don't buy a timeshare. Period. There are no circumstances, none, by which this economically comes out to your benefit. You are signing up for God only knows what, and you're probably not going to get it, and you're going to get stuck, and you're legally bound, and you're signing ridiculous documents that are one-sided, and you're getting screwed. So just avoid the entire industry like the plague. Number two, if you are stuck in a timeshare, there are no magic pills. There is no easy way out. But sometimes, if you have the handwritten notes of the agent that committed fraud, then that one was a rare one. I would love to have been in the room when that happened. But if you've got stuff like that, or if you've got a way that you can do that, sometimes they can people like the Newton Group can really help you. The timeshare exit business is shrinking. Again, a lot of the players have been driven out of business. A lot of the attorneys that have done this for a living have been sued to the point they have been run out of business. Newton Group is standing, has been since 2003. Visit their website if you need some help with this, or if you just want to read the exit study results, timesharetruth.com. Timesharetruth.com. Thanks for dropping by, you two.
Thanks for having us.
This is The Ramsey Show.